mold was discovered in the residence hall.
And the student production from the theater department. More on the opening of Silent Sky.
Plus, 2 men plead guilty today after an immigration raid in early September. More on the charges and what they're facing.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now. And I'm Emily Bologna. Our top story tonight is out of Cayuga County, where 2 men were found guilty of illegal re-entry after a federal immigration raid in Cato earlier this month. Appearing in court last week, it was Francisco Salvador Mora of Mexico and Gregorio Valdemar Ramirez Perez of Guatemala. Both men now charged with felonies. They were caught during a massive immigration raid on September 4th at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners plant, just 20 miles from Oswego.
They were just 2 of the 5 men who were caught following the immigration raid. Both pleaded guilty in the separate court appearances in Syracuse. It started when they both waived the pre-sentence investigation reports and asked to move directly to sentencing. Chief of the U.S. District Judge Brenda Sinas sentencing the men to time served and remanded them to the custody of the U.S. Marshal Services. They are set to face deportation proceedings. Now, over to Scriba, where the Novelist factory announced that part of its aluminum plant is back online and operational following the massive fire last month. The company stated that damage from the fire was located to the hot mill area, and the preceding centers were temporarily affected due to a variety of issues, including water concerns. After working around the clock to restore the operations yesterday, the plant cold mill and finishing area went back online. Novelist is saying that they are still restoring power to the remelt area and the recycling area. They are expecting to restart that soon.
From a factory fire to a house fire, state troopers are now investigating a fire in the town of Volney as a possible arson. It was Sunday afternoon when the Volney Volunteer Fire Department was dispatched to the fire. A second alarm was sent to the Fulton Fire Department to the scene with another fire engine. A witness stated that they saw a dark-colored vehicle leaving the area at the time of the incident. Crews say flames were put out within 30 minutes of arrival.
Now back to campus, over to Johnson Hall, where we're learning that residents are being currently evacuated due to an ongoing mold issue. Inside the freshman residence hall, mold can be seen spreading across the walls, the ceiling, and furniture. We're told that residences are being located to Oneida and Cayuga halls, notably on the west side of campus, in comparison to Johnson East Side location. An official statement has yet to be sent out from SUNY Oswego, but we will continue following this developing story.
Theater students will soon open their season with Silent Sky, which follows the story of astronomer Henrietta Leavitt. Kelly Lopez will be playing the role of Leavitt. Lopez says she feels a connection to her role as she has faced struggles to get where she is. Silent Sky opens at 7:30 p.m. on October 15th. Tickets can be purchased through the SUNY Oswego box office, and they are free for students.
Of Mr. B.
Students
A nearly 2-week manhunt in the Adirondacks has come to a close with the arrest of 53-year-old Anthony Beechand. He's accused of killing his girlfriend.
Students interested in attending SUNY Oswego are invited to open houses. We apologize for the technical issues. Students interested in attending the SUNY Oswego are invited to open houses Saturday at 10:30 a.m. The event will include tours and information fair with our academic departments, different clubs and organizations around campus for SUNY Oswego looking to attend SUNY Oswego. If you are able to make it to this one, there will be another one on November 11th.
"40 new students were honored by the Department of Psychological Science and induced into the Psychi Honor Society last week. The Society's mission is to recognize and promote excellence in the science and application of psychology. Students inducted this year are majoring or minoring in psychology and philosophy, or are participating in select 5-year dual degree programs.
It was a lot cooler outside to compare to the last few weeks here.
It's the start of October, and it's starting to feel like fall. Now with a quick look at the weather, here's Storm Team 10 meteorologist Logan Rounds.
welcome to your weather forecast. Yes, thank you. Welcome to your weather forecast. Some of the headlines would be that it has mostly been sunny for the past few days. There is a chance of a frost advisory tonight. Drought-like conditions are expected to continue, and a variable change in temperatures up ahead. More on that later.
Thanks, Logan. New York State plans to have zero emissions energy by 2040, with New York State Energy Research and Development Authority pointing towards advanced nuclear energy. Unlike traditional reactors, more advanced reactors are typically more safe, cheaper, and more efficient. However, not everyone is in agreement. Protesters gather to oppose expanding any form of nuclear energy. The protesters arguing that even advanced nuclear energy options are still providing much too much risk for long-term environment.
Governor Kathy Hochul announced that inflation refund checks will be directly sent to 8.2 million households. In order to be eligible for a refund, people must have filed a resident of New York during the 2023 tax season, not claimed as a dependent, and must fall into certain income brackets. To see if you qualify, details can be found on the New York State website under the Department of Taxation and Finance.
The mayor of Binghamton announced that the chief of police, Joseph Zikuski, will resign on October 6th due to an investigation against him and his girlfriend, Susan Rice. This comes after a video resurfaced of the chief and his girlfriend in an altercation back in July that led to the girlfriend being arrested and charged with endangering the welfare of a child. The current acting chief of police, John C. Ryan, will be replacing him after he formally resigns. The search for a murder suspect in upstate New York is now over. On Friday, police arrested a man wanted in the stabbing death of a woman earlier this month.
The arrest happened near Paul Smith College in Franklin County. Alex Lashcombe has more on the police investigation.
Anthony Beechand. He's accused of killing his girlfriend, 41-year-old Amanda Rodriguez, on September 14th in Cohoes. Authorities found Beechand's white Chevy in the town of Brighton the day after, kicking off the manhunt. Beechand's arrest comes after police asked the public for help on Thursday.
The press conference that was held up in Troop B was instrumental. I think it was important. The information had been put out very early on. The suspect's description, his photo was released, but I think it was a great idea to refresh that information in case somebody missed it.
Franklin County Sheriff Jay Cook tells me ultimately it was a public tip that led to the arrest of Beechand by one of his deputies on Route 86, just under a mile away from Paul Smith College. He says the tired Beechand sat on one of these guardrails right here behind me and gave himself up to police almost immediately.
He observed the subject sitting basically on the guide rail, and when he saw the deputy pulling up, he stood up and basically put his hands out.
Cook, who took the shot at David Sweat that ended the Dannemora manhunt a decade ago, says people of the North Country were once again the key to ending the search.
Once again, the public came through. If someone hadn't called that in, he could have changed his mind and went back in the woods.
It is unclear what charges Anthony Beechand may face or when he will appear in court.
Still ahead tonight, more on the earthquake that pummeled in the Philippines.
Plus, the passing of a beloved animal conservationist. Jane Goodall was 91 years old.
Get rid of all the questions.
If only we had someone who could tell us what we should and shouldn't watch. Well, do we have a show for you? Who are you?
What are you doing in my bag?
On Be Kind and Rewind, we will go through and review all your favorite movie franchises.
And tell you which ones you should and shouldn't watch from the perspective of normal movie fans. Well, be sure to check out Be Kind and Rewind on WTOP-10.
Hello and welcome back to WTOP-10. Currently it is about 56 degrees out in Oswego with a dew point of 40 degrees and a relative humidity of about 56%. Pressure at about 1,015.2 millibars. Winds are northeast at about 8 miles an hour. Currently in our area it's 56 degrees. In addition to that, you got areas in the low to mid 50s and upper 40s. Notably, down in Delhi it is 43 degrees. Which leads on to advisories and watches. We have a beach hazard statement that goes on until 5 a.m., a frost advisory in areas until 8 a.m., and you also have freeze warnings in effect until 9 a.m. Notably, with the Delhi area, it's already 43 degrees. How much colder will it get? And be sure to be careful as you may want to bring your plants inside. And here we have our drought map. This is currently what we're experiencing across the United States. And in our area, all of New York is in some form of drought. Currently, our area is experiencing a drought watch. The Saratoga-Albany area is experiencing moderate drought conditions as well as western New York. In addition to that, there's been a departure in temperature changes, such as tonight, it's 5 degrees below the average, which would bring in the frost advisories. However, later on in the week, you can see that we have 18 degrees above normal, which is unseasonably warm for this time of the year, which may increase the drought-like conditions going forward. And you can see here, it's 61 and 66 degrees expected on Thursday and Friday for your highs. Notice that low of 44 degrees. And throughout the weekend going forward, you can see that it is nice out, 71 and 74 degrees. Monday as well is nice. Chance of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday with a cold front passing through with notably cooler temperatures. On Wednesday, a high of 63 degrees.
Thanks, Logan. The animal conservatist Jane Goodall has been announced dead at the age of 91. She was known for her groundbreaking discoveries, with her most famous work being with chimpanzees. Today, her organization announced on her Instagram of the primatologist of her passing with a heartfelt message about her life. Her legacy of protecting wildlife and her push of science will live on for generations. On Wednesday at midnight, the government shut down for the first time in 6 years. There's an impact all across the country.
That includes the federal workforce and the military. Karen Caffia is in Washington sharing what households need to know.
Despite the government shutdown, some federal agencies have deemed certain services and employees essential, which means Social Security payments will continue. Air traffic controllers and TSA employees will keep flights moving, though without paychecks, and veterans can continue to receive medical and critical care through the Department of Veterans Affairs. The Department of Health and Human Services says the Food and Drug Administration will still respond to emergencies, but be limited in the number of inspections it can do, which experts warn could put the nation's food supply in risky territory.
If this goes on for a couple of weeks, that there could be food safety outbreaks that couldn't be coped with. Significant problems could occur in the supply chains.
The shutdown also stalling the admission of new patients to National Institutes of Health clinical trials unless medically necessary.
So if we're on deck for a clinical trial, that will stop.
The Department of Agriculture says nutritional programs like SNAP benefits can continue until funding runs out. The Department of Education says federal student loans will still be dispersed and borrowers are still required to make their payments to avoid default and delinquency. And the Department of the Interior says national parks will stay partially open, a move sharply criticized by park advocates who say it's dangerous for the public to have access, with more than 9,000 agency employees furloughed. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The government shutdown will end after one or two things happen. The first way is if Congress comes to an agreement on how to allocate the federal funding, then pass a bill. The president would have to sign it into law.
The other way is for Congress to pass a continuing resolution. This has a temporary spending bill that gives Congress more time to discuss.
When WTOP-10 Nightly News returns, the U.S. Postal Service honoring its former president Jimmy Carter with a news stamp.
And America's largest retailer, Walmart, is eliminating artificial dyes in its products.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
If you like action, romance,
Polly sister, if you're watching this,
and highbrow humor,
surface is this? Floor. Minch did not legitimately put his head in the toilet.
There's only one place to turn.
No!
Tune in to new episodes of
Oh boy!
only on WTOP.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News.
In consumer news,
America's largest retailer, Walmart, is eliminating synthetic dyes from their private label food products. Senior Vice President Scott Morris says, quote, "This is a direct response to what the consumer is telling us." The push for the elimination of artificial colors comes from Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy and the Food and Drug Administration. Walmart emphasizes that the taste and quality will remain unchanged even if the colors are different.
the United States Postal Service is honoring former President Jimmy Carter with a new Forever stamp. The Forever stamp features an image of Carter from 1982, painted by Herbert Adams. The new stamp was made available and on what would have been Carter's 101st birthday. Jimmy Carter was known for his humanitarian works and peace and social activism. Trump implements tariffs affecting various imported goods, including almost all Halloween costumes.
With Halloween coming up, Catherine Cullen reports more and more people were shopping in September due to increased tariffs.
It's October, and that means rolling out the pumpkins, ghosts, and goblins. But the most frightful thing about Halloween this year may just be the prices as shoppers feel the impact of tariffs and inflation.
Tariffs this year are on people's minds.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says they saw people start shopping in September or earlier for Halloween because they're worried items will cost more, so they're spreading out their purchases.
Many of those costs haven't yet been passed on to consumers. It is impacting certain goods differently. We may be seeing it a little bit more in non-durable goods.
President Donald Trump implemented tariffs on a variety of imported goods to encourage companies to make products in the U.S. According to the Alliance for American Manufacturing, virtually all Halloween costumes on the market are imported, which means they'll be subject to tariffs. But Cullen says tariffs have affected certain goods differently.
Less than a quarter of tariff costs have been passed on to consumers.
Candy and sweets prices are also up from a year ago, according to the latest Consumer Price Index. Shoppers are spending more on Halloween this year. The NRF says people are spending about $114 per person. That's nearly $11 more than last year.
In times of uncertainty, and we've seen this starting with the pandemic, during times of inflation and others, people are turning to these celebrations, these fun holidays where no matter what's going on in the world, you can dress up in something fun.
If those prices are giving you a scare, there are ways to save. Cullen suggests shopping at discount stores, reusing decorations, and getting crafty with costumes and decor. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
With the rise in prices, consumers may have to find various ways to save this Halloween. The women's tennis season wrapped up today.
We go to our sports reporter, Joshua Madison, to share more.
The Oswego women's tennis team finished off their regular season earlier today by taking down the Cortland Dragons. The Lakers won with a final score of 5-2, winning 4 of the 6 singles matches. Avery Borman won her 3-set thriller, followed by Emily DeLuca picking up the point in 2 sets, and solidified by Isabella Eason and Kate Hayes, who won their respective matches in 2 sets each. Hayes and Eason also picked up a win in their doubles match, both finishing their sophomore regular season at 6-2 in doubles and holding 7 wins and 1 loss each in singles match play. The Lakers have historically struggled against Cortland. However, this is their 3rd straight win against the Dragons, dating back to last year. The Lakers now get a break before heading off to the SUNYAC playoffs starting on October 17th. Well, don't go far, because Oswego soccer, some weekly Laker legends, and sports around the world from Jason Rude after the break.
If you like action, romance,
If you're watching this,
and highbrow humor,
Surface is this. Floor. Minch did not legitimately put his head in the toilet.
there's only one place to turn.
No!
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Good evening, and I am Jason Rude here with your WTOP-10 Sports Report. Oswego State women's soccer dominated today against SUNY Canton in a 6-0 shutout. In the first half, Kaylee Elliott connected with a low center shot with Brianna Winkler scoring next with an assist from Kayla Sustad. In the second, Julian Brosnan closed it out for Oswego State, adding on to the 20 shots on goal, dominating corners 9-0. It was all Lakers from the start to finish, as they will now face SUNY Morrisville Saturday on the road. Oswego State also celebrates fall standouts Elena Gaffini and Jack Shaw as they were named Athletes of the Month. Gaffini dominated cross country, breaking 4K and 6K program records and earning 2 SUNYAC Runner of the Week honors. Golfer Jack Shaw has been consistent, placing 25th, 35th, and 7th in 3 tournaments, helping the Lakers to a 3rd place finish at home. Cross country heads to Houghton for October 11th, and the men's golf takes on Nazareth this Sunday. Now switching up to pro sports, as the Cleveland Browns are making a QB change as Joe Flacco has been benched for 3rd-rounder rookie Dylan Gabriel. He'll make his first start Sunday against the Vikings, becoming the 41st different starter for the Browns since 1999. Rookie Shedeur Sanders is still listed as Cleveland's 3rd string. He responded by silently mouthing answers to reporters about the move. Coach Kevin Stefanski states that starting Gabriel is, quote, best for the team. And now we shift to last night's American League wild card matchup between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. As bottom of the second, Anthony Volpe, 1-2 pitch. He swings it and it hits all the way right field, and the fans are going to rejoice as it was the first homer of the game, but unfortunately the only homer. As top of the 7th, Luke Weaver pitches to Masatoka Yoshihide, and it's going to be a single ground ball to center field, allowing 2 RBIs for Cedon Rafaelia and Sogard as they're going to take the lead 2-1, and it looks bleak for the Bombers, but it would only get worse as top of the 9th, David Bednar pitches to Bregman, who doubles it straight to left field, and Trevor Story runs it in home for the game-winning score as the Sox will start the series 1-0. However, just a little while ago, the Yankees got their first win 4-3 against Boston to tie it up at 1-1.
That's our report for tonight.
Stay tuned for Oh Boy.
Thank you for watching.
Have a great night, everyone.
If you like action, romance,
Polly, sister, if you're watching this,
and highbrow humor,
Surface is this? Floor. Minch did not legitimately put his head in the toilet.
there's only one place to turn.
No!
Tune in to new episodes of
Oh boy!
only on WTOP.
Look at the number of disasters in the U.S. Chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I had to eat a raw egg on Chris's dormitory floor.
I currently don't have any federal pending charges.
You know what you never did? You never walked to Walmart, Chris.
That's my co-host. This is for making me eat roast Pop-Tarts.
It's showtime, Chris. Come on.
I want to be on the air for that. I got a couple things to say.
No.
spin the wheel. Oh, you got censorship.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to